When you're a child, I don't quite think you understand SSDD. As an adult, we absolutely know what that means, right? Same shit, different day. Now, not saying that I'm here to talk about the same ish, just in terms of the very same sneakers. I think everyone has talked about those at length, at nauseum. I know viewers are ready to move on. As someone who discusses things in sneakers, I promise you I am as well. So we're going to have a different approach when it comes to this video. But SSDD is very much so real. Now, at least like I have like same setting, different day right now, which is a great setting to be in. I thank you all for the great feedback. Even real life friends have said like, no, like I appreciate you stepping out inside your comfort zone because the setting itself really, really worked. I'm glad it worked. Thank you for that feedback. So let's talk about the same narrative though that is going around right now, and I don't know how it's affecting you as a viewer. I can't speak to that. I can simply speak to what I think when I see it, and that is the same tired rhetoric that people are sleeping on upcoming releases in September. We are here. We're here. I wish we weren't. Like, I just want to get past this. I want to get past these two words. I want to get past, and the two words being don't sleep. I would love to get past the headlines and things that we see that I can't believe people are sleeping. And it's not just on the platform, right? I see it other places too. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I can still browse and see it being said. You can see things being said in Instagram comments. I can't believe people are sleeping on these. I can't believe people are passing on these. It's as if the whole month of August didn't happen. It's as if life and those fixed expenses plus all of the variable expenses that continue to arise as an adult. When you wake up as an adult now, it can't just be me. You wake up, you blink, it costs you $100. It costs you $100. You just wake up and blink. And it has nothing to do with, oh, well, I'm going to stay in the house. Do you know how much money I spend in the house? Like, staying in the house doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to save money. It doesn't. There was a point, I think, where it meant that, but like, the way e-commerce works now doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to save money. So it's as if August didn't happen. And let's just run that back really fast, because I think people are maybe forgetting that the entire uproar that happens around so many of these releases is don't sleep. Don't sleep. Not on one, not on two, not on three, but like on every hyped release. So let's just run down what people told you to not sleep over. And I'm mostly just going to stick with probably Jordan Brand. There are some others that dropped, but we know what people tell you don't sleep on, because you're not a real sneakerhead if you aren't going after the most hyped, the most coveted, the most anticipated releases, especially collaborations. You're not a real sneakerhead if you don't care about these drops, which means I guess I don't qualify anymore. But let's just go with the one that we're all tired of hearing about, even though it was like the most recent one that really released, even though technically, no, it released early in the month. Whatever, two different dates. So the Undefeated 4, that was $225. Actually, no, let's run that back. $225 good dollars. And if we want to tack on, if you did the EQL with shipping and then taxes, it could have ran you anywhere from like $253 to $275 or something I saw in the comments. So we're there. Undefeated 4, $225. The one that this may have exposed some people, right? Just like these satin. Do you remember like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I said the women's satin bread, I think, exposed people that it really does have to do with something being limited or whatever the manufacturer hype is behind it that makes you feel important to have the shoe. Because once that was removed and it was just a women's bread satin, people didn't care. They didn't lose their minds like they did before when that shoe came out. Same thing with the shattered backboard. So that sneaker, $180. Let's keep it moving. Now, this is like the cherry on top. I'm going to skip that one. We'll get back to the cherry on top. The Awake Link Gate sneaker. The Awake 5, aka Link Gate, that occurred. What a time to be alive in 2025. It doesn't matter which colorway, right? But $230. This is adding up. But remember, people told you all of these were must-haves. The Nigel Sylvester Air Jordan 1, better with time. Another pair that they told you don't sleep on, right? $165. And then I sold my pair forever ago, a little bit ago. Well, it feels like forever ago. It probably wasn't that long ago. The Air Jordan 12 French Blue. I'm just going to stick with these. That was $205, I believe. Whatever. This is what's listed here. Do we see how quickly we can rise in price? Like what? Like I'll put that total up. This is without taxes. I'll put the total up here on the screen of what you likely paid in men's sizing if you really adhere to don't sleep, or how could you sleep on these. And I'm not saying any of them are bad sneakers by any means. I'm not saying that. I once owned the French Blue 12. I think the Better With Time looks good. I'm a big fan of those with the sail laces, sail socks. I think it works. Why do we just act so cavalier, though, about disposable income, especially right now? Like, why? Why do we do that? I've already spoken on a lot of other things that are already going on, okay? So I'm not hearing that there aren't people affected, because there are. So don't fall for the same shit, different day, okay, about not sleeping on pairs. You do whatever works for you, especially with your finances, your income. I don't know your economic situation. But if at any point you start to complain, or if you were complaining, or you were strained or stressed about any bill nearing the start of September, because rent and mortgages are due on the same day every single month, if you were straining or stressing about that, complaining about that, after you sat and decided to not sleep on all of the pairs they told you not to sleep on, that's kind of self-inflicted. Also, I'm here to tell you, sleep away. Sleep is great. Sleep is amazing. I could throw in the Pharrell Adidas jellyfish. That's $300. Just throw that on for shits and giggles. Why not? August was expensive for a lot of you. I'm not saying it was the cheapest thing for me, right? I had the opportunity, and I'm so grateful for it. Again, my friend Heather is amazing. So grateful for it, to experience my very first ever live Seattle Storm game at Climate Pledge Arena. Oh my goodness. It was absolutely positively everything I wanted it to be. I will try to get footage here on screen for you. Be mindful, a lot of it was intentionally shot for Instagram, so it is predominantly in a vertical format. But I enjoyed everything. I mean, start to finish, the hospitality was just top notch. It was truly a 12 out of 10. From, ticket availability, just pulling up to the arena, being able to take my picture with Sue Bird statue. That was definitely a bucket list item for me. Again, going through check-in security, so easy, so fast. I mean, such a smooth process. Really great experience just as a fan attending. The team store. Plan ahead when it comes to team store visits. Now, for me, I like to see if I can get items that are exclusive to the arena, because I feel like those are always a little bit more special. So you guys can see the items here that I'll be leaving with. Now, I also have a pair of socks. If you guys remember, I have a Seattle Kraken. I have a Kraken jersey. The socks just go so perfectly with it. So have the socks as well. Quite a few items to take back. 2 shirts, a crew neck, a little pin for Doppler, and then the socks. The game, just the experience was amazing. So I went actually 2 different days. I don't know that if I'll have footage from both games on here, but the first one was against Chicago Sky. The second was against the Los Angeles Sparks, and that was the game in which everyone was just like, how do you lose? Like, that is, there have been so many games. This is the frustrating part I feel for Storm fans. There have been so many games where you guys are up like 10 to 15. There is no way you should lose, and you do. I know it's frustrating, and it should be. And you should have questions. I don't necessarily have answers, because you have a very talented team. Gabby Williams is one of my favorite players. The same thing with Nneka Ogwumike. You have a dog in Skylar Diggins. Like, I don't know. Ezi Magbagor, if you're looking at Dominique Malonga, I mean, you really do have a good team. Now, you're also dealing with some injuries like everyone else, but I don't know how they lost that game. I mean, actually, I kind of do. Just lack of scoring. There was no scoring in the third quarter. I don't think there was much scoring in the fourth. So that game did not work out how the team wanted it to. That game did not work out how the team wanted it to. I certainly wanted them to go ahead and secure that win, because that win would have also meant that the Liberty clinched on the Liberty were able to clinch because the Mercury beat the Fever. So that still worked out. But all that being said, it was such a great time. So if you have the opportunity, or if you're just intentional about spending less on sneakers right now and maybe more on just other things, right? Maybe I didn't have to pay for my tickets, but there are certainly other things just in terms of travel and bringing myself out here that I have to account for. I wouldn't trade that for anything. Just so happy. So don't fall into the trap of, same shit, different day. Everyone telling you don't sleep on pairs. That adds up really fast. It does. And I know because you hear it all the time, it just feels normal, and you're so compelled to not sleep because you're being told you're disrespecting these really great releases by not buying them. They're inanimate objects. You're not disrespecting anything. You're not. I'm just going to let you know that you're not. Okay? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and comment your thoughts below. I am curious, were you somebody that was able to hit on 5 out of the 5 releases that I spoke on? And if you did, are you slowing down at all heading into September? Because I know there are quite a few drops already on the radar. Or are you still going full force? Because you got it. Maybe your money is just that long. And if it is, hey, probably means you manage it well. And I love that for you. Please be sure to check out any of my other recent videos. I really appreciate you tuning in. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.